Good evening. How you doing? My name is John Birch, johnabirch.com, here to remind you of your greatness. Yes, that's right. Tonight we are talking about your greatness through your personality. You are great. Your personality tells me so, but do you know it? Do you know your greatness? Do you know why you do the things you do? What makes you great? What do you value from your personality aspects? What are those traits, those things that are very specific to you as a person when you're feeling your needs, you're out there driving away in the world and getting the things that you want and building a family, building a career, just enjoying life. What are some of the things that you value in your life when it comes to personality? I'm going to read through a few. First, I'm going to talk really quickly, a quick overview once again about our particular personality temperament system that I use, I love, I adore. I love changing people's lives with this, and that is my promise to you. If you apply this knowledge to your life, it will dynamically change your life. It'll change the way you interact with people. It'll change your relationships. It'll change your communication. It'll change how you see stress, how you motivate yourself, how you discipline your children, how you parent, how you are as a partner. I'd like to also remind you that we are running a series in February for this month of love, as we like to call it, around this Valentine's Day. Whether you're single, in a relationship, struggling, all of those things that happen to us in our relationships in life, from the relationship we have with ourselves, to the grocery store clerk, to our coworkers, to those significant loved ones in our lives we call family. Those relationships are all driven from our personality needs. There's 4 specific categories or traits that I'm addressing this month through the relationship stuff, piece side of this personality system. And the program is called Breakthroughs Before the Breakup. So I hope to change the statistics a little bit by educating people about themselves, in their relationships, how they engineer and some of the fundamentals that comes with our relationships and how that our personality plays a role in that. My goal is, I know Tony Robbins just announced some statistics not very long ago that 45 to 50% of marriages end in divorce now. So we're roughly 50%. Not good odds, not a good thing, I think, for our society overall. And I think it's pretty damaging to people as individuals to go through these kind of crisis and traumatic situations. They're very stressful. I've been through 2 of them, to be completely honest with you. I've had 2 lovely marriages that I had to come to the realization at the end of the second one, before I learned any of this personality stuff, I learned that relationships is a skill set. It's like leadership. I learned leadership in the Army. I continue to practice my leadership and to hone those skills. And I had to learn that being in a relationship is just like leadership. It is about being one with yourself, knowing who you are, what traits you have, characteristics, and needs that you seek to fill in your relationships. It's a skill set, basically, is how I teach it. So if you understand your personality and what your primary drive is, and you can explain to your significant other how to meet that drive, or you can find a significant other that does meet that drive, then you will find happiness in relationships much easier to accomplish. So learn from my mistakes and go out there and make your relationships better, much like I have in my life now. That I have this knowledge, this information that I love to teach, love to convey to people. So let me dive right into talking about the particular personality temperaments. So in this system, Insight Learning Foundation, the Insight Personality Assessment Instrument, long names for personality assessment, which basically comes down to Nathan Bryce wrote a book called Standing Naked in the Shower, created this system to identify 4 particular temperament categories, if you will. So from these temperaments, of course, if you've taken a Myers-Briggs or a DISC or a Big 5, you've dealt with personality and being labeled and put in a box and all those type of wonderful things that we try to do to people. With this system, however, we look at it slightly different, and we see these 4 categories have specific characteristics that the people that went through the studies and interviews and so on and so forth fed back to the surveyors and the creation of the instrument, Nathan Bryce, to really kind of describe themselves. And from that information, and of course the 15,000 years or so of research that has gone into personality and understanding who we are, why we do what we do, he came up with a system that views personality as a spectrum. So that means you have in your wonderful dynamic brain 4 temperaments that you operate from all the time. So you have one, however, that you pull from the most. One of those personality traits or characteristic temperaments, rather, you prefer to operate from and live your life from more than the other 3. So we call those temperaments blues, golds, greens, and oranges. Very simple to remember. In fact, if you take the personality assessment, you're welcome to pop over to my website and take the personality assessment at any time. Right now, I'm running a special on the romance, love, know thyself and love piece. And I'll drop some links here in a little bit for those. But let me run through these particular temperaments and what they are, what they mean to you. So blues are our nurturers. They're our emotional people, driven people. These are our folks who they need to feel unique. They love nurturing people. They generally end up in careers where they're supporting others. They make decisions based off of their feelings. They get involved in causes. They bring unity to our society. However, they do make up about 10% of our global society in estimation. So when we say the world needs a little more love, it's true. These people thrive off from connection. They love connecting. Next, we have the golds. These are our dutiful folks. These are the folks who they're organized. They're self-sufficient. They love bringing structure. Good evening, Tracy. How are you? Welcome. They safeguard traditions. They believe that work comes long before play. All the work must be done. Then you can have some playtime. They desire punctuality. They believe in keeping commitments and promises. They're very, like I said, very organized people. So the next one we have is the greens. Oh, by the way, the golds make up the most personality per population in our population. So the green, however, makes up the least. They are the innovators. These are the folks, the scientific types. They thrive on knowledge, intellect. They're very, very slow to make decisions. Why? Because they need the data. They need the information. They're very logical, calculating. They love to read. They love to dig into systems. They bring innovation to our society. Next is the most fun and exciting, I think, dynamic temperament out of the 4. These are our oranges. They're our kinesthetic, free, spontaneous, risk takers, entrepreneurs. They thrive on crisis. They like to be the center of attention. They believe all the world's a stage, and they are the actors. They absolutely need variety, and they bring excitement to society. These folks are also the folks that are running into the burning buildings when they're burning down and everybody else is trying to get out. They thrive on those type of situations. So they generally find themselves in very action-oriented type of careers. So what I'd like to do tonight, and hopefully you recognize yourself in those traits that I've just described. Linda says yes. The analytical type, yes. Let's see. I don't know who I am. Well, we can help you figure that out a little bit tonight, Tracy. That's what the purpose of doing this tonight is, to kind of give people at least some insight on their primary personality drive and what it is that they seek in the world. So sleep and eat analytics. Yeah, I'm sure you're very, you are a very analytical, logical brained individual, Linda, from our conversations, for sure. So let me run through. This is what we call values, the values of each temperament. These are things that people in surveying and in studies have relayed back to the surveyors and to Nathan Bryce and the organization that they value the most. So when we look at values, we look at things that you advocate for, the things that you appreciate, the things that you cherish, the things you collect, those things that you desire in life, the things that you enjoy, those things that you join, things that you need, the things that you provide. Those are huge in the relationship piece. The things that you're going to pursue in your life that bring you happiness in pursuit of. The things that you respect, the things that you like to show others about yourself, the things that you treasure, how you view trust, and what you want in your relationships. So tonight I want to talk briefly, I'm going to run through each of these. Let's talk about what you advocate for, the value of advocating for. Blues, we're going to start with the blues, and they advocate, for growth. They love personal growth, development. It's a journey. Life is a journey, not a destination to these folks. The blue temperament, they love the flow, the symbology of life. Linda's asking a question here. Linda's saying, so who should I marry based on the personality types? Well, the really unique thing about this, the only thing that we advise in that realm when it comes to relationships that I've learned to advise is I would hesitate against marrying someone who is your polar opposite in your spectrum. And what that means is if you're a green primary, you are less likely, not that you couldn't learn to, but you're less likely to get along with a blue temperament. Just like if you're a gold temperament, you are less likely to truly get along with the orange temperament because they're polar opposites. Now, do these people have relationships out there? Absolutely. What have they done is simple. They've learned to adapt their personality temperament and pull off or cope with the other person's characteristics. So they've learned to mesh and blend and get along, even though they have those polar opposite drives. So it takes a little bit of work, like any relationship. The key to understanding the piece about relationships, however, is understanding how to fill your partner's needs. If you can understand what need that your partner is seeking in their personality drive, then you can make them happy, potentially more happy than if you didn't meet their needs, and vice versa. If you can communicate how to get your needs met, then you will find happiness. Yes, absolutely. So let me back up here real quick. And Linda had, I get that, but I have some blue in me. Well, you do. And that's the unique thing, Linda, is we all have, that's why I love this system more than all the other systems I've ever experienced in the realm of personality assessments. This system views us as having all four. We look at the brain and we say, okay, yeah, we know we have a right hemisphere and left hemisphere, and that we say, people are right brain, left brain, right? We probably heard that. And we try to relate that to introvert, extrovert, and the Myers-Briggs, and we try to relate that to how you're going to interact and how we perceive things. With Nathan Bryce's studying, I should say, in information in the assessments that he's done, he found that there's actually, when it comes to personality, the brain is broken into quads. So there's four areas of the brain that we work out of, per se, that really relate to these characteristics. So there's a really neat diagram. I'll try to hold up to the camera here so you can see. I have a few notes in here. See if I can get this up there. So that would be the human brain, and that's the four quadrants. Of course, I've colored it for my notes. And that's also what the logo looks like for Insights Learning Foundation. So we're looking at actual brain function from the personality aspect. Okay, it doesn't mean I can go into your brain and go, yep, that little area right there, that's green, and that is your personality temperament that you're firing from. Not quite what we're talking about. We're talking about behaviors. We're talking about motives. That's what we're getting to when we talk about personality. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you behave the way you do? So continue on with the green, with the blue, going back to what we advocate for. Blues advocate for growth, as I said. The gold, however, advocates for discipline. Remember, these are structured people. These people absolutely require discipline in our society. They thrive off it. They want people to be disciplined. They're disciplined people, and they expect the same of others. Next is the green personality. The green personality advocates for solutions. These are our problem solvers. They look at our society, they look at the world around them, and they say, what is the problem and how can I solve it? And they're willing to experiment and test and figure out different ways to bring solutions. Lastly, in this category, orange, they thrive for success. They really want this sense of success is vital for them. And success is a little bit individualistic, of course, but the overall for an orange, when it comes to success, it's about domination. It's about gaining a skill, gaining an expertise, being able to, it's not really about the trophy. It's more about we won, I won, I perfected my skill, and that is success to them. Let's see. That's Mel. Drives me nuts. Oh, wait, maybe not. So, the really neat thing about this particular system, as I go through this, you will see parts of yourself, characteristics of yourself, and you will see characteristics of others. The thing that I always tell everybody is you can make somewhat of an educated guess to get to people's personality temperament if you understand all the traits and you evaluate them from a distance and kind of watch and interact with them and figure out, how are they behaving in their life. Now, then we can get a little more invasive and I can ask particular questions. You can say, hey, describe your ideal vacation to me. So a blue would be like, oh man, I would take my family to the beach and we would spend all day together and it would just be me and the kids on the beach throwing a ball and going in the waves. And it would be such a great time as long as we're all together. It would be awesome. Versus the green, who might say, man, I just want to go up into the mountains by myself with a really good book and just do some meditating and really just solve some problems, write, hang out by myself. An orange might say about their vacation, man, I don't know, but we got to go somewhere crazy. We got to go do some zip lining. We got to do some hiking. We got to be outdoors. We got to have some adventure. So it's going to be a little bit more like along that line. And the gold is going to do anything that seems to be traditional to their culture. Anything that's, we're going to take the traditional family vacation. We're going to go to Washington, D.C. and see the mall, and we're going to see the monuments, and we're going to go to the Congressional Library, and we're going to go here and do that. That's going to be more the gold traditional concept of vacation. Anything that seems to be traditional to them. Hello, Andy. How you doing? Excuse me. Welcome to the room. Just going through some personality aspects. Currently talking about some values of each personality traits. Good to hear. So the next thing I want to talk to you about really is appreciation. What do you appreciate from your personality? And how does that impact your life? So, hey, Steve, how you doing? Welcome to the conversation. Anybody's welcome to jump into the seats, and we're just chit-chatting here a little bit about conversation, rather about personality temperaments and how they kind of impact your life. So next, we're going to talk about appreciation, the 4 temperaments. Again, for those that just came in, I use the Insights Learning Foundation temperament system, and it's blues, golds, greens, and oranges, and you'll get a kind of a hang of what those mean as we go through some of these. Let Steve pop in here real quick. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Good, man. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
No problem.
Awesome. So where are you coming from?
Atlanta.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
It's my first day on the lab.
First day. Congratulations. That's awesome. What do you think so far?
I'm not sure. It's weird.
Big crazy place. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure. I know I've been on for a while. Probably well over 100 days. 170 days according to my bio here. And it's been a great experience. It's a really neat platform. You can meet people. I'm in Las Cruces. We're here in New Mexico. I've talked to people in China, England, Europe, all over the place, all over the States, of course, Canada,
Cool.
South America. Yeah, so it's a really great platform for just making the world a better place. It's pretty cool.
So you get on here and do these sessions every now and then?
Yeah, I actually currently running a relationship session in the mornings at 11 a.m. where I'm focused on personality and relationships, helping people improve their interpersonal relationships. And then in the evening, I'm kind of doing a more informal, just kind of hanging out, talking about personality in general.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll continue on. If you have any questions, feel free to contribute, jump in. If you see any of these traits in yourself, let me know, and I want to talk about any of them in depth. And of course, anybody, if you want to jump in, the seats are open. Come on in. There's also, of course, the chatting on the side. I'll try to keep up with that as I go through these particular. Tonight, we're talking about values in your personality, your greatness, concerning your values. What do you value in life? And we look at a few different categories. And I just finished with advocate. What do you advocate for? And the next thing I want to talk about is appreciation. So the blue temperament, remember, these are connection people. These are emotionally driven people. They appreciate uniqueness. They love things that are unique. So that's very significant when you want to give a blue a gift. If you give them the same tie that you gave grandpa last year, that's not going to be very unique to them. So they really want to feel unique in your life. They want to feel unique as a person. So doing things that are different, definitely emotionally impacting, romantic type of things are going to be very significant to them. Isaiah, how are you doing? Come on in if you want to. Next, the appreciation of the gold is prudence. Highly valuable. And I have to be honest, gold is the least in my spectrum. Again, we look at the personality as a spectrum in this particular system. So when we're looking at, thanks, Steve, for popping in for a few minutes, man. I appreciate you. When we're looking at each person's personality, we know you have all four of these traits. It's just how you interact with the world, which one you prefer to operate out of the most. So the next one is green. Innovation is what they appreciate about themselves and about others. Hey, man, no problem. Congratulations for joining Blab. I hope you find it great. I'll throw you a little follow on here as well, and hope to see you again. And let's see somebody just came in. Kiki. Hello, Kiki. How are you? You're welcome to jump in the seat. We're talking about personality right now. So talking about green, the green personality temperament appreciates innovation. Again, these are our innovators of our society. They are the ones who bring, gadgets and gadgets like these, science-y type of things, medicine, those type of things are really, really appealing. Scientific studies and so on and so forth are really appealing. So being innovative is essential. They really appreciate that aspect. Steve Jobs is a great example of a green. Very, very innovative. Next is the orange. In appreciation, they appreciate courage. Now remember, these are the type of personality temperaments that take risks. They're running into the burning building as everybody's trying to get out of there. So it's important for them to feel a sense of courage about themselves and about our society. So Kiki wants to jump in here. Let me have her come on in. Hello, Art Jones. How are you, sir? Good to see you. You're welcome to take a seat as well. Just talking about some personality stuff tonight. In general, what makes you great from the personality perspective, and do you know it? Do you know your personality traits? How do you describe your personality? I'm going through the aspect of what each personality temperament values. Good evening. Good to see you. So next, I'm going to skip down a few. I want to talk, because I know I'm focusing on relationships this month for people. Kiki's going to try again here. Let's see if she can jump in here. Coming through the space that we call cyber. There she is. How you doing, Kiki?
Hi, sorry about that.
No, that's quite all right. No big deal. I know you just hopped on, but where are you coming from?
New York.
New York. Whereabouts in New York?
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, Brooklyn. Awesome. Okay. I grew up in a little place called near Lake George. So way upstate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Way upstate. So I was born in Glens Falls, grew up in that region, left for the Army many, many moons ago. and now I'm down in New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So it's good to see you here. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, cool topic.
What interests you? A good topic? Good. What interests you about it?
I actually was having a conversation with my friend yesterday about this, and we were trying to figure out if you can change your personality.
Oh, I get that question all the time.
Yeah, and that's something.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to
Very
ask.
cool. Great. Let me run through a few more of these, and I'd be happy to answer that for you.
Awesome.
If you have any other questions that come up, feel free to interject in the conversation. I just want to get a few more of these values out so people can kind of start to relate to and understand their personality temperament as looking at it through the sense of values. So the next thing I want to talk about in the sense of what I've been discussing this month is relationships. So what do you want in your relationships? That's a huge one. What do you need? And how do you view the concept? I'm going to be talking about this later in the week, the concept of trust. Those are the next three I'd like to touch on. So what do you want in your relationships? Now, Tony Robbins talks about this a little bit in his breakthrough process when it comes to relationships. And he labels these four temperaments having a need of certainty, which is the gold temperament. They need a sense of certainty in their lives. Blues need a sense of connection. Greens need a sense of significance, and orange need a sense of variety. But from our perspective, when we look at this topic of relationships, what do you want? Blues want romance. Again, these are our emotionally driven people. So they want that feeling of being nurtured and taken care of, and having the ability to take care of others is essential to them. Golds want in their, what's that?
That's me.
That's me. That relates to you. Okay, that resonates with you. That's awesome. So the gold personality temperament, they want rules. They want, how is this relationship supposed to be? What are the expectations? What are the rules, the policies, the workarounds? What are we doing in our relationship that in relationship to rules? How are we supposed to behave? That's vital for them to have happiness in their relationships. So next is green. The green personality temperament really desires competence. And Kiki, you're welcome to jump back in if you want, whenever. Just pop on in. Greens want competence. Remember, greens are the analytics. These are the intellectually driven people. They thrive on competence. So if these are the type of people where I would say blues want to know how much you care before they know how much they care about how much you know. Greens want to know how much you know before they care about how much you care.
Is it possible to be a little of both?
Yeah, absolutely. With this particular system, and the reason why I love this system more than any other personality system that I've been interacted with or used, is that we see the human personality as being a spectrum. So you have all four of these temperaments that have specific traits innately in you. So you have these traits. Now, when we look at assessing someone, we know that you have a preferred personality temperament that you operate from. So that is what I call being in the zone or being in the nexus. When you're operating from that particular temperament, you feel the greatest. Your needs are met. You're happy. Things are good in your life. Even if you're going through a crisis, if you can stay in that primary temperament, things are going to be pretty good for you overall. Go ahead. You've disappeared from me. You've disappeared for some reason. You may want to refresh. I've lost visual of you. It looks like I have an open seat next to me, but I can hear you. So
okay, I'll refresh again.
Try refresh, yeah. And let me answer Art's question here real fast. Art is questioning. Let me throw this up, actually. Let's see. Answer the question. And let's see. This is John. What is the personality assessment you were speaking about? Okay. All right. This is, let me take this back down and see if I get Kiki back here as well. This is the Insight Learning Foundation Personality Instrument. This is created by a guy named Nathan Bryce, and I'm going to put the book up here. This is the book he wrote. Standing Naked in the Shower is the title of the book. Nathan K. Bryce. And they're based out of a city in Utah now. They were in California before. They originally were focused on our prison systems and schools. They did really well in the prison systems in California, Texas, and Utah, had contracts. As the state sold off the prisons to private companies, they lost their contracting because they were having so much success, because a full bed means money for these companies. And with these type of programs teaching people about themselves, they were turning people out who were not reoffending because of the understanding, the know thyself, as I like to call it. And statistically, our prison systems in the United States are made up of about 77% orange personality temperament. Now, when we look at the personality of the gold, that's our law-setting, organized, they need the rule, right? The rule of law to govern their lives, policy, punctuality, versus the gold temperament. So we have those law creators. The orange temperament rather is the freedom, law-breaking, rule-testing temperament. They thrive on freedom. They thrive on challenges. So we instantly have a crisis that we've developed in our society through that particular system. Just looking at it from the personality aspect, I should say. So hopefully that answers your question, or I can drop a link for you. You can also go to just Google Insight Learning Foundation, and you'll get, there's some free stuff there. Once you get past the landing page, you can go in, you can visit the visiting center. There's a lot of information there about personality you get for free. If you ever want to take the personality assessment, I'm going to throw some links up here as well. Right now I'm focused on our relationship in the month of February. Over the next few months, I'm going to be focusing on parenting, leadership, which I know is a topic that you love a lot, is the leadership piece. So hopefully you'll join me for that as well. So maybe Linda's saying, Art Jones, I had to look up what, Ian, yep, extrovert, intuit, thinking, judgment. That's from the Myers-Briggs indicator, yep. They've invested, Myers-Briggs, just a little side note, Myers-Briggs has invested the most money than any other organization out there, any other foundation out there, as far as examining and trying to assess and perfect this thing of assessing personalities. So a lot of companies, a lot of the research that they've done, companies rely on that research. They use it as, in their career pathway, assessing employees, and plus assessing leadership. The military uses it. So the Air Force uses our particular system in their family resource centers across the country. So we're pretty proud to have that up on our little placard of people we can refer to as loving us, per se. So greens, again, love the competence. Let me get back to the last piece here is orange. Orange want in their relationship action. These are action-oriented people. They love action. So anything that has to do with kinesthetics, taking action, being in motion, the orange is going to love it. That's the same thing in the sense of variety. They want variety. Now, the orange personality temperament will start a heated debate, a discussion, an argument with their significant other, with their coworkers, just for the spite of it, just because they're bored and they want some spice in their life. They want some variety. They want some action. They want to do something. So that's something to be aware of when you're dealing with the orange personality temperament. So let's see. Next, I think I want to talk about, what did I say? What do you need? What do you need in your relationships? Let's talk about that one. That one actually just jumped out at me. What is that you need as a value as your personality temperament? The blue needs harmony. They really avoid any disharmony, any chaos or crisis. If there's any type of conflict, the blue will first initially generally try to mitigate it. They'll try to come to a resolution, come to a solution. If they cannot, they will tap out. They'll get out of the relationship. They'll get away from the person. They'll try to get in, they'll cocoon themselves and get away from whatever's causing the disharmony. So they really thrive on that need and value of harmony. The value of need for a gold, again, is order. No chaos, order, structure, everything in its place, follow the policies, follow the rules, don't be late. They need order in their lives. They're planners. So they absolutely, and again, that resorts back to that word certainty. Next in the need category of values is the green. Greens need time. They need time to be alone. They need time to digest and analyze the things they've experienced in their day or in the situation. So if you have a situation you're dealing with a green and you expect a decision like now, good luck. You're probably not going to get an accurate decision from them. And they're just saying, yes, we do. Very good. And so when it comes to that green personality temperament, they really need that time to think. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Lastly, in the need category, we look at the orange needing incentives for them. So they want tangible rewards and they want them now. If you want them to do something, give them the incentive to do it. Give them the incentive to take action. Give them the challenge to take the action. So Linda says, so leave me alone so I can think. Yeah, absolutely. Got to think about this for a moment, Linda. Just take your time. It's okay. But yeah, they really, the orange temperament needs that incentive to take action, to be involved, so on and so forth. So absolutely. So Peter's saying as well, yes, let me have my time. I am not indecisive. Very true. You're not indecisive. You just need the data. You need the data, my friend. Same with Linda. You need the data. You need to collect the information so that you can analyze it, give it some time to think it over, and then you'll find to be very successful. You're welcome, sir. Absolutely. My pleasure. So let me see. I know I named a few in the beginning, and I've probably changed my mind a little bit. Trust. That's it. Actually, I wanted to talk about this one too. I'm going to talk about this a little more in depth this week in the relationship focus and the breakthrough before the breakdown series. When we look at trust in our relationships, without trust, there is no relationship in reality. So if we can't build trust with others, then we're not really going to accomplish much. So building trust and keeping trust, maintaining that trust is vital. This key alone really will help you improve your relationships if you understand that blues trust feelings. They trust their feelings. They trust the feelings of others. They trust the expression of feelings. That's truth to them. That's what they trust, is their feelings. Next, the gold, they trust authority. They're going to rely on the system, the authority, the law, so on and so forth, to put forth the way things are going to be. So if you're looking at a gold in a relationship who's struggling, they're the ones who will be more likely to seek out counseling. With the blues, is of course they can go and discuss their feelings and emotions, but the goal to do it, because we got to go to an expert. We got to go to somebody who, that's one of the first things. If I'm trying to get a bid in or trying to talk to people about a speaking event or coaching or any of those type of things. Absolutely, no problem. Thank you, man. Appreciate the appreciation, my friend. So I get asked all the time, what are your credentials? What makes you the expert? What's the information behind this? What's the data behind this? Or what's, so the goal, I know I'm pretty much dealing with the gold if they start asking those, what are all those initials behind your name? And do you have any? Where'd you get them from? Those type of things, because they want to find out if you're an authority or not. So green, they trust analysis. They trust the in-depth analysis in the data, the facts. Facts don't lie, numbers don't lie. That's their outlook on things, is they trust their analysis. Lastly, when it comes to trust, we look at the orange and we look at, they trust their impulses. Now, you might say your gut. I hear oranges say that a lot. How'd you make that decision? No, just from my gut, which we kind of associate with the feelings, but to them, it's more of a overall intuition. It's that impulse, to act, impulse to go now, impulse to do what they want to do. That's what they really absolutely trust. So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys have some questions, feel free to jump in. Reach out to me at johnaburch.com. And actually, we'll pull this open for some links on the side here. And just give me just a moment, please, as Coach Jenny says. I don't quite have the voice, though, I don't think. So let me throw up my contact link here, or at least my website. Copy. There we go. Boom. Okay. Put this in here. There we go. Now, that's just the main page for my website. You're welcome to go there, do some exploring. I'm actually doing some rebuilding. I started this morning to contact with people or connect with people. So the contact page, I'll actually throw this link in there. It's a little easier to do that. If you want to shoot me an email, get some more information, I'm going to, hopefully, my goal is to finish this up tonight and a little bit maybe tomorrow morning. If I run out of steam tonight, to get the links up for contacting me for the actual assessment. We had a problem with our server, unfortunately, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, everything's back up and running. I just have to build in the links now, and that's just the time-consuming type of thing. Too busy having fun, teaching people about themselves more than I am interested in building a web page or making the links back in the web page. The other thing I will offer you, though, I am starting. I just created or kind of recreated a Facebook group, which I really want to build a community around. I think these are really effective as I learn the realm of social media. This is called the Know Thyself group, and you're welcome to pop in there, join that group. It's called Know Thyself. It doesn't have a lot of content yet, not a lot of members. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 of us in there right now. But that's what I really am going to bring. That's kind of the red carpet to my business, I think, is going to be the build-in. And I'm going to put a bunch of information there, linked to articles, links to videos, all the fun things that I learned from, that I enjoy in sharing and teaching. And I'm going to post there about relationship stuff for the rest of this month. Next month, I'm looking at parenting as a focus. The month after that, probably going to go into some leadership stuff. Just kind of feeling that out for the next few months of what focus I want to give this. And of course, any of this is open game. If you want to get some insight for yourself, for your relationship, just for your career, any of those particular things, you're welcome to reach out to me at any time at johnaburch.com. Grab the link from the chat there and join my Facebook group. Link up with me there or my fan page as well. You can find that on Facebook. It's all linked in and connected there. So I want to thank you all very much. I'm going to take this off record right now. Thank you for joining me. If you catch this on the replay, I sincerely appreciate you doing so. And I appreciate you taking the time to join me this evening to learn more about your personality, because I'm here in my life to remind you of your greatness. Now, let's get you to know your greatness so you can go out and do great things. Have a great night.